One of the aspects of marble sports that perhaps gets a bit overlooked sometimes is how grueling the training can get in the off-season, but all of that hard work is so important for an event like this one. Welcome to Block Bumping, the 5th event of the Team Quadrilla Marble League here in Season 5, and this event made an appearance in the qualifiers where we saw some breathtaking distances by some of the top performers. Some teams leaving us a bit speechless with how far they were able to push the block and how well they were able to work as a team. And the record holders are the Pumpkin Patch with a great 110 centimeter flat distance set in the qualifiers for this season. Looking at the standings though, coming into this event, the Deep Divers and Venomous Vipers 55 points apiece at the top of the standings, then it's 45 points apiece for the Valley Dashers and the Rosebloods in the tie for 3rd place. So the standings very close towards the top of the standings. We may be seeing some big shakeups after this event. If you didn't join us for the qualifiers and are unfamiliar with how this event works, well, each team will go one by one and push the block with all 4 of their marbles, and marbles will be taking turns to push the block, coming down individually, hoping to get out of each other's way and push the block cleanly and very far. The Ocean Ophidians will demonstrate this event for us, and the first marble completely falls off the ramp there. That's something I don't think we've ever seen in the block bumping before. The other pushes seem to be decent, and they do turn the block with their final marble. Now, if you get the block out of the lane by the end of your run, it will be an invalid run and you'll have to go again. And if you get 3 invalid runs, you will be disqualified. So great demonstration for the Ocean Ophidians turning the block, but did manage to keep it in the lane, so that would have been a valid run. But it'll be 66.1 only for the Ophidians, despite some great pushes, especially the first push, really good for the Ophidians. Only pushing with 3 marbles isn't going to get them very far. Hopefully we'll be seeing the main teams push with all 4 of their marbles with the Treat Fleet to start things off. The winners of this event in Group C in the qualifiers, so hoping to do a bit better than they have in their first few events in the A Division. Not had a great outing in their first ever A Division so far. First push seemed decent, second and third seemed alright. Can the anchor get it very far though? It's all down to this now, and it will get past 70 centimeters. So a respectable distance for the Treat Fleet. I don't think it's as good as what they did in the qualifiers, but mid-70s is a decent showing to start things off. Only 15 points in the first 4 events, not a good start to the season for the Treat Fleet. Can be forgiven a bit because this is their rookie season in the top league, but still hoping to get their season back on track with this event. 74.3, decent score, not going to perhaps challenge for a medal, but definitely should be alright for the Treat Fleet. We'll see what the Poison Ivy can do here in the second one. Infamously got dead last in this event last season when they hosted. Did better in the qualifiers for this season, but not a team revered for their strength perhaps compared to some of the other skill sets in the Quadrilla Marble League. First push is decent from the first marble. I don't know how it was compared to the Treat Fleet. Oh, 3rd and 4 will drop down in the pack, and that will get it past the Treat Fleet. That wooden block marking where the Treat Fleet scored, that back edge of the wooden block in particular, so definitely beating the Treat Fleet and will put them in the lead for the Poison Ivy. That final 2 coming in a pack, really getting all of their momentum into the block, and a very clean run, 79.7, gets them past the Treat Fleet by about 5 centimeters. Still though, no run cracking 80 though, so the best may be yet to come as we see the Maze Runners here in the 3rd run, the winners of this event in Group A in the qualifiers. So another team that did very well in the qualifiers and block bumping, trying to do well here. First push is great by the first marble. That is the best first push we have seen so far. What can the second, third, and fourth do? Second one is alright, could be a bit better, and the 3rd and 4th seem to be dropping down together. 3rd one will turn, and the 4th one will knock it on its side, and that will be an invalid run for the Maze Runners. It was looking good, and it was looking like it would be past the Poison Ivy, but pushing it on its side, that will be invalid, and they will have to go again. Perhaps trying to get it a bit more control this time. Need to keep it controlled and get it in the lane. Now, if it's out of the lane after the first or second one, that's fine. You just need to get it back in the lane, and the first one this time gets it on its side once again. Can they salvage something? No, it completely falls out of the track, and that will be another invalid run. The Maze Runners, they are trembling right now. They need to just get a score on the board here, otherwise they'll be disqualified. Can they do it here? Their final chance to get a score on the board. Perhaps not even trying to get it past the Poison Ivy this time. They just need to not be disqualified and not guarantee a dead last in this event. The first marble, ooh, they're all taking their time this time. Perhaps trying to take it easy this time and take their time before they hit the block. First 3 marbles will come in a pack, and that gets it very fast. It's clean so far for the Maze Runners. Can the anchor do it? Yes! The anchor keeps it clean, and that is past the Poison Ivy. So not only do they manage to finally get a score on the board, they will take the lead after looking so shaky with 2 invalid runs. Maze Runners well past the Poison Ivy here. That will be high 80s for them, and the Maze Runners really putting themselves back on track here in this third and final attempt. Close to 90 it is for the Maze Runners, not quite. 88.8 for them, very similar to how they did in the qualifiers. That's a great sign for the Maze Runners, a team 14th place in the championship right now. They are so happy to not only just get a score on the board, but have it take the provisional lead. But we'll see what the Bobble Squad can do in the 4th run, a team that didn't perhaps get the win in this event in the qualifiers in their group, but did very well in their group outright. So we'll see what the first marble can do here. Very solid, as has been for pretty much all of the teams. 3rd and 4th seem to be close together, so the second one will push it a decent bit, but the 3rd and 4th will come in a pack here. 3rd one is strong, and the first one also very strong. Gets very close to the Maze Runners, but just shy of them. So what's it going to be here for the Bobble Squad? Definitely 2nd place. Where did it really come away for them to get it not as good as the Maze Runners? The first push seemed to be very strong. Was it the second push here? Yeah, the second push not quite as good as they would have liked. That might have been the difference maker for them. The 3rd push was really strong for the 3rd, and the anchor was solid as well. It's going to be very respectable distance for the Bobble Squad. Just 1 centimeter behind the Maze Runners with 87.5. We'll be very happy with that. For the defending B Division champions, very respectable. Now, Green Supreme, a team that got silver in this event last season. Didn't do well in this event in the qualifiers, though, in their group, so hoping to tap into that Season 4 form in this event. Oh! The first marble pushes it very far, turning the block, and that goes very far. Best first push we've ever seen. 2nd and 3rd do push it very close to the block. The final marble should get it past, and they do. The Green Supreme will take the lead commandingly here. Past 100, that is one of the best runs we've ever seen in block bumping. That could be the gold medal run outright here. Past 100, the only other run past 100 we've ever seen is the record set by the Pumpkin Bash. That first push was outstanding. I don't know if we'll ever see something like that by the first marble. The second one didn't get it very far, but the third one used that momentum to get it pretty much towards the leader already with just 3 marbles, and 102.4. Wonderful by the Green Supreme. That is an excellent run for the Green Supreme, and it's going to be very hard, I imagine. Surely that must be a podium at the very least. And after struggling in the last few events, they may be back to the podium after the first event in balancing. Now the efficient eggs subbing out their captain Scramble, Omelette the vice captain, taking the lead for this event. We'll see what they can do here. Did decent in this event in the qualifiers, and the first push is strong, so it's looking like a good sign here for the efficient eggs. Ooh, the second one can't get much into it, and the third one also not a very far push here. Can the anchor do something? It's a decent final push, but it's only going to be high 70s. So it's going to be a fairly poor run for the efficient eggs, at least among the teams so far. No team has really tanked all that much. The Treat Fleet, despite seeming like having a decent distance in that first push, I think they're still in dead last. No push under 70. And the efficient eggs, despite being high 70s here, I think that should put them down in the bottom half. And it does, 77.8. That is second to last, only better than the Treat Fleet. So not great for the efficient egg. That lineup change perhaps not working out as they would have hoped. Now, the Shadow Riders, also a team that did well in this event in the qualifiers, and a team that has won block pushing back in Season 1. We'll see what they can do here. First two models are going to come in the pack here. Oh, they flipped it over. They have completely flipped it over. They need to flip it back over because of how far that block went. That block, this would get it past the Green Supreme, but they do need to flip it over. Can the final one get it? No. The Shadow Riders, they had an amazing run, but there was just one problem. The block was upside down, and there's nothing they can do about that. Despite getting it past the block, does not matter here. They will need to go again. That is so bittersweet for the Shadow Riders. They had so much strength unlocked there, but it's just perhaps no control whatsoever. And they will need to go again. Need to keep it more composed this time and not do a repeat of what they did in their first run. The first marble this time, it's not going to be 2 marbles coming in the pack, and they flipped it over. The first marble has flipped it over. Can they get it back in the lane now? And oh, they flipped it over again, but it's still on its side. The Shadow Rider, this could still get it back in the lane, but it does not, and it's once again an invalid run. Both times in their first 2 runs, they have pushed it past the Green Supreme, but they can't get it in the lane. They can't get it to just be upright, and they will need to go again. It would be so heartbreaking for the Shadow Riders if they get disqualified here. The Maze Runners did manage to get it stick on their final run. Can the Shadow Riders do it here? Perhaps trying to play it a bit more safe here. Are the Shadow Riders the first push? Can they keep it in the lane? Yes, they can. The Shadow Riders now look to be in a decent position to at least get a mark on the board. Can they do it? Pretty good distance now. Second and third are decent. Looks to be a clean run this time. Anchor will not get it very far though. And that run is going to be a respectable total for the Shadow Riders. But it could have been so much more for them. And they will be thinking what could have been after those first 2 runs. Otherworldly pushes, but just not valid. The Shadow Riders still, that's going to be a high 80s, so still very respectable for the Shadow Riders, but really everyone is going to be thinking what could have been because of those first 2 pushes. But what's going to be here? 85.6, that does put them right in the middle with 4th place out of 7 runs. Still, respectable all things considered for the Shadow Riders. Now, Bacon Brawlers to round out the first half. Bacon Brawlers coming off a brilliant win in the Quadrilla race, but before that it's been very tough adapting to the A division after 3 seasons in the lower league. First model, what can they do in block bumping? They did very well in this event in the qualifiers as well. Second and third are going to come in a pack, and it's very messy, but the final model also pushes it very far, and they really use that strategy of coming in a pack. They did that in the qualifiers, and they do it here once again in the main tournament, and that goes very far. That goes very close to the Green Supreme. Was it past the Green Supreme though? One of the marbles did knock the marker. That could have made a difference, but I don't know if it was past the Green Supreme, and it's 101.4 by 1 centimeter exactly. They are shy of the Green Supreme, but that's a great run for them. Just the 3rd run ever we've seen crossing 100, and the Bacon Brawlers, they're a bit distraught to not be past the Green Supreme with how good of a run that was, but still, 2nd place for them. They are on fire right now after a gold medal in the Quadrilla race. Bacon Brawlers could be on course for another medal here, even if it's not another gold, but it's the Green Supreme that lead the way unsurprisingly after the first half. Now, Cold Fusion to start off the second half. This team did brilliantly in the qualifiers in their group, outshined by the Pumpkin Patch, but did very well to get the 2nd best distance in the qualifier. 2nd and 3rd, we'll see what they can do here, and the 4th model also drops down together. But the push wasn't exactly the greatest push we've ever seen here. Very average for the Cold Fusion, despite so many high expectations for this team in this event with how well they did in the qualifiers. And that Anchor really actually didn't get much into the block. Perhaps need to space out their pushes a bit more. If you come in a pack, it does help sometimes to get all your momentum together. Sometimes it can result in some collisions and loss of energy, and perhaps that's what happened with the Cold Fusion. But now, speak of the devil, Pumpkin Patch here, one of the best teams in this event ever in block pumping. First push is outstanding by the Pumpkin Patch. Could this be an excellent run once again? 2nd and 3rd though aren't very good. The Anchor is going to need to salvage a lot to come close to what they did in the qualifiers, and it's a solid Anchor, but that's only close to the 80 mark. And the Pumpkin Patch, they're going to be about 30 centimeters shy of what they did in the qualifiers. They're going to be very disappointed with this run, despite not even being that bad of a run. Really disappointing run for the best team, arguably, in block bumping. This is not even going to challenge for a medal for perhaps the top-seeded team coming into this event. What's it going to be? Those 79.9, that puts them in 6th place. Not the worst run by any means, not a bad run, but very middle of the road. Not what we expected from the Pumpkin Patch. But now, Team Atlantic, with Dolphin in front, their captain Narwhal in back. Didn't do that great in this event in the qualifiers, so they put some changes perhaps, trying to find something here. Dolphin will come down first, very strong from their first marble. What can 2nd, 3rd, and 4th do? 2nd, not great. 3rd one gets it very far though. This is looking decent for Team Atlantic. Can the Anchor get it far? Oh, they've got it. They push it way too far, tumbling it over. And that will be an invalid run. We've seen several invalid runs here, multiple instances. We've seen 2 invalid runs by the same team. Team Atlantic will be hoping not to do that and hoping to just keep it clean here and not have to bank on the final run. We'll see what they can do here. See the first push can do. The first push in the first run was very strong, and it's once again very strong here. What can 2nd, 3rd, and 4th do? The 2nd and 3rd do come together, and the 3rd one does turn the block a bit. Can the anchor get it very far? No, the anchor cannot do much at all. That is shy of 80 once again. Team Atlantic, very mediocre run here. Nothing to smile about really for Team Atlantic, despite looking probably better in their first run before it was invalid. And this is going to slot them in the bottom half likely. Turning the block that did perhaps lose some of their energy with that third push. And the anchor completely comes out of the block after hitting it. Not going to do them any favors. 78.6. That puts them in 9th place out of 11 thus far. Team Atlantic, not a great showing for them. Now, Golden Cheeses. Very consistent are they in strength events in the past. 4th place in every block pushing or block bumping event they've done. Subbing in Feta after not doing well in this event in the friendly round. First push will turn it completely on the first impact. Could have been a bit better here. Second one push will turn it as well, but the third and fourth gets it very far in fact. That third and fourth really saved the run here. And that's going to be a very solid run. Did not look like it at the beginning. The third and fourth model really salvaged what would have been a very mediocre run for the Golden Cheese. Not even past 40 after their first 2 marbles, but that's third and fourth. Spaced out enough to get them all of their energy into the block. And 92 flat. That's a great one in fact for the Golden Cheeses. They go into 3rd place. Could be eyeing up their first medal in a block pushing style event. The defending champions got a gold in the Snake Egg Shootout. Aside from that, no medals thus far, but they could be getting their second one here. Now Rosebloods are winners in this event last season. We'll see what they can do here. They also won this event in the friendly round. First push, very strong by the first model. That is outstanding by the opener. Second and third will come together, and that pushes it very far as well. The Rosebloods, this is looking great. Can this get it close to the Green Supreme? Oh, it gets it up. It tumbles it over, and that goes past the Green Supreme. But way too much it was way too out of control. And they'll have to go again. Once again, what could have been for the Rosebloods, that could have got it past their rivals, the Green Supreme. But regardless, they will have to go again. We know how strong this team can be in this event. They're taking their time this time in this run, trying to keep it clean this time. All of them will seem to come in a pack though. First 3 are solid, getting it very far. Can the anchor get it far? Here, they have a lot of distance to cover, and the anchor, really poor impact by their anchor marble. And this is not going to be something that they'll be very proud about. Definitely would have done better if they just kept it clean in their first run. It's looking solid after the first 3 push. Even the third push wasn't actually that great. And the anchor, no, just a very poor impact for them. Couldn't get it past 80. And just 78.7 tenth for the Rosebloods. It's a bit of a surprise, considering how good they looked in their first run especially. We'll move on into the final 3 runs of the day. The Valley Dashers 3rd place in the championship, with Rift subbed in the reserve in back. We'll see if that can do a bit more favors for them than what they did in the qualifiers. Didn't do very well in this event in the qualifiers, but that first push was great by the first marble. Getting it past 40 by the first marble alone. Second and the third are pretty good. Can the anchor get it far? We still have a lot of distance to close up to the Green Supreme, and the anchor once again doesn't get it very far. It does look better than the Rosebloods. Anchor could have got it further. That could have been past 90 easily with a better final push, but it is mid-80s, still a very respectable distance for the Valley Dashers. And that first push was excellent, really being the carrying grace in this push. It's one of the best first pushes we've seen in this event. Of course, Green Supreme, otherworldly that was, but still 84.5. That puts them in 7th place, very middle of the pack, but respectable for the Valley Dashers. Now, Venomous Vipers, the home team, bronze medalists in this event last season, hoping to get ahead of the Deep Divers in this event here. Let's see what they can do here. A lot of eyes on the Venomous Vipers right now. First push is going to be very strong for the first marble. That was very similar to what the Valley Dashers did in the previous runs. Oh, they've pushed the block over. They've pushed it well out of the track, and that's going to be an invalid run. All of the hard work of the first marble completely gone to waste, and they'll have to go again. Hoping to learn from some of the other teams that did have invalid runs but didn't get disqualified. We've had no disqualifications in this event thus far. Venomous Vipers will really be hoping to continue that trend. We'll see what they can do here with their first marble. Turning the block, but they do get it very far for the first marble. Second and third going to get a decent distance as well. That's very close, in fact, to the high scores. Can the anchor get it close? No, the anchor pushes it over, just tipping it over. Almost in slow motion that was. And very poor impact there. Just a bad angle of attack. and they'll have to go again. Yet another team that we see having to go for a third time, really hoping now that they can get on the board here, hoping to play it a bit more safe this time. The first push is going to be a very strong push once again. Can they keep it clean now with their other marbles? Second and third seem to be coming together, and the third push will get it very far, and it's in the lane. Can the fourth push get it close to the Green Supreme? It is close. It's going to become close to 100, but it's not going to cross the 100 mark, so that's not going to beat the Green Supreme. Not going to beat the Bacon Brawlers either, but still, that's a great distance and great way to salvage what could have been a disqualification for the home team. The Venomous Vipers got a bronze in this event last season. They could be getting a bronze here in this event again. I think that will surpass the Golden Cheeses for third place, and yes it will. 96.9 in third place go the Venomous Vipers. The home team and home fans are so happy right now. The team could be getting their third medal in 5 events. Now the Deep Divers, how will they respond to that? The championship leader is just based on a tiebreaker, but they need to get on that podium to hold on to that championship lead. Led by Seabell with Shipwreck at the back. Ooh, very slow for Shipwreck as I say that. First marble is a decent one, not as great as some of the pushes we've seen recently, but they're going to need big pushes now. Second and third are pretty good. Anchor, all eyes on them. They're really taking their time. Really want to get a good push here. Get it close to the Venomous Vipers, if not past them. And the Anchor can't get it much into the block, so will not surpass the Venomous Vipers. It will not stand on the podium for the Deep Divers. 3 medals in the first 4 events. Won't be a medal in the 5th one. The Deep Divers, they will be passed by the Venomous Vipers after this event. Seemed to be a decent one though. Second and third especially did manage to get good distances into the block. The Anchor Shipwreck really could have done a lot more, but still 85.1 to put them in a nice 8th place to end things off in block bumping. But that means with a supreme performance, Green Supreme will capture gold in block bumping with 102.4. 1 centimeter shy is the Bacon Brawlers with a 2nd podium in a row, and also a 2nd podium in a row for the Venomous Vipers, the home team, and they will be our championship leaders after this event. So, to the roar of the crowd, the Venomous Vipers take the lead in the standings, 70 points to 63 for the Deep Divers. Green Supreme jumped 9 spots into 3rd place. Golden Cheeses in 4th. Bacon Brawlers jumped to 5th place. That's the Valley Dashers, Rosebuds, and Shadow Riders rounding out the top half. And looking at the Captain's Championship after the 3rd team event, the Green Supreme take the lead, 49 points, 1 point over the Deep Divers, and Venomous Vipers and Valley Dashers also very close. The top 4 in the Captain's Championship in a class of their own here. But after this we will go to a brand new event in the Combination Pursuit.